You cannot be my hands. James habitually set his phone on the other side of the bedroom, as far away from the bed as possible. He always maintained that it was better to make the bodily effort to answer a call than to drag the phone towards him sleepily and sound barely half awake. It could be work. James was an actor, but often added to his income by deploying his professional skills as a qualified musician. He had trained as a musician primarily, but then, having applied for drama school, he found that he much preferred the more laissez-faire approach to life, as well as the fact that you didn't always have to carry your guitar around with you wherever you went. "Good morning, James speaking." "Jimmy, it's Gwyneth. Darling, are you free tomorrow?" As it happened, he was, but calls from Gwyneth were nearly always tainted with bathos. It would be work, but work with a built-in compromise, an ouch factor. "Darling, someone's let me down. Can you come in and do 2 small parts in a radio play tomorrow afternoon? Don't worry, we'll call your agent about fees and things." "Great. Yes, I'll be happy to. Is this for, the organisation?" "Afraid so, darling, so it won't be megabucks, as you know." "It'll be good to see you." That was always James's stock response whenever the conversation was slowly spiralling downwards. "There is one other thing." The conversation refused to be brightened. The leading actor is supposed to play the piano and sing a short song, Galway Bay. 3 chords, James thought. A couple of diminished passing chords to cheer it up a bit. C or G major ought to cover it. And of course, he doesn't play piano, but he can sing a little, although it doesn't require him to be Aled Jones, shall we say. I promise it won't be like last time. Galway Bay on the piano. "Exactly, darling. Now, I can't offer you very much money, but if you could just record the piano part during a coffee break, I could offer you an extra £20. James felt an insulting lurch in his stomach. As a qualified professional musician, he knew he was worth more than an extra £20. "Yes, that's absolutely fine. We'll need you at 2, but if you come in at 1, we can give you lunch." James signed off cheerily enough and gave an audible sigh. At least he didn't have to carry a guitar. James was not a fan of the organisation. It was a bureaucracy gone mad, determined never to pay you any money unless they absolutely had to, and even then they'd stump up as late as they possibly could. He had no desire whatsoever to become an employee of the organisation. You were much better off as a freelance because you had a chance to say no. James belonged to a publishing group, but he knew there was no chance of registering copyright for his work because the organisation was ahead of you. They retained copyright of music as part of their own creative enterprise. James knew of composers who had created some of the most successful and most broadcast pieces of music who had never received the proper royalties due to them. The organisation paid them a meagre weekly wage to compose at their behest. He knew exactly, too, what Gwyneth had meant by, "It won't be like last time." On that occasion, when he had worked for Gwyneth and the organisation, the experience had been infuriating. He had been asked to compose a small piece of music to words by the playwright as part of a radio play for which he received pocket money, as opposed to a proper fee. The organisation viewed him as an actor who also happened to play the guitar and piano and could be a jolly useful chap, economically speaking. So, James had composed a piece on the guitar and had arrived at the studio to play it to Gwyneth and the playwright. The playwright thought his little composition was enchanting and just what they were looking for. But when he played the song to the small company of actors in order to teach it to them, he encountered a dull reluctance to participate. As he took his guitar from its case, he heard someone say, "Cheap." Another actor said jokingly, "This had better be good." Another murmured, "Come on then, show us what you can do." James played the piece to a studio full of mistrustful-looking faces, and when he had finished playing, to no appreciative applause, one of the actors said, I'm pretty sure I've heard that before." "Yeah," said another. "It sounds like Trouser Boys." James had been a little irritated by this. "The Trouser Boys? I don't know of them, sorry." "Sounds just like it." Gwyneth had suddenly become concerned. "Oh, we can't use it if it sounds like something else." James handed the guitar to the actor. "Can you play me the song by the Trouser Boys that you mean?" The actor just shook his head disdainfully. "I'm not a musician." "Can you just sing it to me then?" suggested James. "I don't sing." "What's the name of the song?" "Dunno, my son plays it on his pod." "Well," said James, "you were better to say, 'It reminds me of a song by the Trouser Boys,' rather than to imply plagiarism." "It's just Trouser Boys," said the actor with sardonic pleasure, "not the Trouser Boys." In the end, as Gwyneth was reluctant to accept any idea that might land the organisation in a copyright dispute, James suggested that this actor ring his son for the song title and then find the track on Spotify or iTunes. "Why should I pay for music that you've copied?" the actor retorted triumphantly, with a self-satisfied smirk. "You'll just have to think of another tune, won't you?" "I'm sorry," said James, "but my music is being wrongly jeopardised by a self-confessedly non-musical person, and I've never even heard of Trouser Boys. How can I prove to you that I haven't copied this tune? And more importantly," he turned to Gwyneth, "this gentleman can't prove that I have, despite his assertion." Gwyneth bit her lip and eventually sighed, "We can't use it if it sounds like something else." James never forgot the look of regretful submission on Gwyneth's face. He had to alter his work until the non-musical actor appeared satisfied that his song didn't sound like these Trouser Boys anymore. For this undignified experience, he was paid an extra £25.